be watching this as it's being broadcast. The applicants are having some delays with folks getting here. They're coming from Tampa, so I think it's important to allow them to be here. So we'll at least give them a 10-minute grace period here. So just be comfortable, and we'll start in about 10 minutes.
That big of a knot.
I don't know, but almost. Kim get me this. It's on the wrong side. Anyway. So, well, maybe I can change these in 10 minutes. I just revised my comments. Maybe I can type them up in 10 minutes, because
Staple it to her earlobe.
Little thing that plugs into your computer. I actually have it plugged into the main port.
Okay, good morning, and welcome to the Technical Review Committee meeting of September 2nd, 2021. This is the Technical Review Committee consists of the various departments in City of Tarpon Springs that review land development applications. The purpose of the meeting is to coordinate with the applicant, go through issues and codes and questions that we have and comments for the applicant. The TRC's job is to determine when an application is complete and ready for processing, further processing through the hearing process. The public is welcome to observe, but does not participate in TRC meetings. The applicant can use the podium up here to participate in the meeting. And we do recommend masks and normal protocol for COVID-19. We have one agenda item today, and just to explain, so this is on the Anclote Harbor project. That project has 5 applications that have been submitted to the city. We have the future land use map amendment, the rezoning, the preliminary plan development, and the conditional use. Those were all reviewed at a TRC meeting of August 5th, 2021. The applicant submitted revisions based on that meeting on August 20th, and this is a second TRC review for those 4 applications. There was also a TRC meeting held on August 18th to review the final plan development. That's a separate application. So just to clarify where we are with meetings. And with that, my name is Pat McNeese. I'm the principal planner, and I'd like the rest of the TRC to introduce yourselves, please.
Beth Hughes, Code Enforcement.
Officer Anthony Boone, Tarpon Springs Police Department.
Tony Manello, Public Works, Streets and Stormwater Supervisor.
Good morning, Nick Macris, Project Supervisor for the city's Project Administration Department.
Rick Kinney, Fire Marshal.
Renee Vincent, Planning and Zoning Director.
Good morning, Cisco Potos, Utilities Maintenance.
Raymond Page, Utility Superintendent.
Heather Frendell, Water Distribution.
Megan Araya, Floodplain Coordinator.
Shannon Brewer, Municipal Arborist.
Keith Mead, Deputy Building Official.
All right, and unless the applicant wants to address the DRC or provide any information at this point, or would you like us to go right into comments?
Thank you, Ms. McNeese. Just very briefly, I'm Cindy Terrapini. I'm one of the applicant's representatives along with the attorney Ed Armstrong. Our client is here, Camille Salome, who's the applicant, and also we have our technical team, both engineering and civil and traffic engineering. Mainly what I wanted to say is that we, as Pat said so clearly, we did resubmit and respond to your comments. We believe we've answered all of your comments that we can physically and feasibly do. So we hope today to hear from you that we've done that, or if there's something that is still outstanding in your minds, we surely want to hear that today. So we'll wait to hear your comments. Thank you so much.
All right, so I'll start with planning comments. First would be to please proofread all of the narratives, tables, and graphics for consistency throughout the documents. Again, we've noted, I've got, let's see, 5 items listed here, but we've noted some discrepancies and incorrect figures still throughout the submittal. We'd like that to be a clean package proceeding to hearing. The second comment would be, and those are with respect to figures, acreages, floor areas, things like that. The conditional use narrative addresses the standards for review of conditional uses for non-conforming lots. That's section 20903, which is not the correct section. So we'd like to get a revised narrative addressing those 7 standards for conditional use under 20901, or confirm if no additional information will be submitted. Just to clarify, the conservation easement is being sought over the remaining area proposed for remaining wetlands and for remaining area of longleaf pine xeric oak, which is the significant upland habitat that is comprised of 13.89 acres. We would like to have the applicant consider putting the entire remaining pineland in preservation or recreation open space, not just the proximate 6.5 acres under that. You have questions on that?
Yeah, I'm not sure I understand which area we're talking about that you. And what,
The exhibit that y'all shaded in kind of that tan yellow that shows the 13, exactly.
This exhibit that shows the
Yeah.
significant upland habitat?
Exactly,
Yes.
so only, we're looking for a conservation easement on all of that. And then, for whatever reason, I'm not sure I understand why we're not seeking or putting the piece along the Anclote River into preservation or rec open space itself. So it's something to be considered. Just consider it at this point. So go ahead, I'm sorry.
So the first part of your comment was the conservation easement is over everything, all of the significant upland habitat. That's
Yes.
comment number 1. Okay, so that's fine. That's what we're showing on
Okay.
this exhibit. Part of that's in the significant upland habitat, as we've already talked about, is this lower
Right.
southeast side that is going to a rec open space plan category. So
Right.
you do want the conservation easement on that as well?
We do.
Okay. And then your second comment was something about you wanted to.
Consider that for rec open space or preservation. Is there a reason we can't do that?
This area along the river, you want to
Yes.
consider it for rec open space or preservation?
I think as it's proposed, I mean, we would prefer obviously preservation, but I think that if the boat dock might be an issue with that, so we would, the rec open space with, with the conservation easement, overlaying all that, I think would be acceptable.
Okay, well, clearly, if it is permittable, we do want the ability to have the boat dock, so I think
Sure.
the preservation would be problematic with that, but will certainly consider the rec open space for that area. I'm just making
Right, yeah,
sure
we're looking for as much protection on that area as we can get, so.
Okay, thank you.
And just advisory comment that we will, the future land use map amendment, the city will need to pursue through Forward Pinellas a countywide amendment to recreation open space. And just as an aside on that, just for clarification, the preservation, I think in some of your documents you've mentioned that that should be administratively done. Obviously, at Forward Pinellas, it is administratively adjusted, those wetland preservation. The city does not have that ability, so that will go back to the board, and that'll be an advisory comment on your final development. As far as the timing, we can, work out how that timing occurs. Next comment would be on the flood zone free board. We noted that the response stated that it will vary from 1 foot to 2 feet above required finished floor elevation. And the city is recommending that the entire project be built at 2 feet above finished floor. So that would be recommended as a condition of the preliminary plan approval. On the traffic study, just had 3 comments. We did get a review completed on that. We would like to get a rationale or an explanation on the why the updated signal timing was only provided for one intersection, what the reason was, instead of all intersections for the PM peak hour.
Which intersection are you saying?
This was the signal timing adjustment was only supplied for the Klosterman Road intersection. Just to explain for anyone reviewing that traffic study why only one intersection was adjusted and not any of the others.
Okay.
All right.
Did I understand you to say that other than that, the traffic study is complete? Because I don't believe we've received comments on the revised traffic study.
That's what this is I'm doing right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna stay here, so make sure I understand it.
Okay. The second one, and I'll give you these in writing if we need clarification. We can coordinate that. Just to provide a rationale on why the most recent version of Synchro was not used for modeling. I don't think there's a concern there, but we just need the explanation in the report as to why the earlier version was used. And then there was a condition on the previous ordinance that was approved that the applicant coordinate with Pasco County Public Transportation on a bus shelter. And I know there's some language in there as far as future needs. There's nothing in writing in the future transportation plans, but we would like that coordination still to take place with them, so we would recommend that as a condition on this preliminary plan approval, just as it was on the last round.
Okay, we're happy to continue to coordinate with them, but the problem is, or the issue is, that they have no routes that go by there. So they didn't see a need for a bus shelter. So we could ask them again. We've asked them a couple times. We've looked at their website to see if that route changed, and it has not, to my knowledge. So,
right.
If we could get something in writing from them, just an acknowledgement that,
Right.
you know, right now it's not suitable, but, you know, we'll continue to coordinate in the future if that changes, you know, something to that effect would be useful
Okay.
for the.
Okay, and in the course of reviewing this submittal, we did identify some items that will apply to the final plan development. So we are going to go ahead and submit those as advisory comments to you now so that you have them ahead of time. So there'll be a list of those, and I don't need to go through those today, but
Yeah, just, I mean, for the benefit, again, of the folks in the audience and anyone watching, we really are trying to focus on what is needed for the preliminary plan development at this point. We will have a second TRC meeting to address remaining issues associated with final plan development. So for today's purpose, we're really focusing on the needs for preliminary plan development.
right, and these advisory comments will be in this response that you get from today, and that'll be posted on the public website and all that for people to be able to see what those are.
And we had planned to resubmit the final development plan next week, mid-next week. So I guess
We should have this
with all
for you.
respect, we'd like to delay resubmittal of the FDP until we see these comments as well.
Sure.
I know that we want to get it back in so we can get it, the final set up for the second TRC meeting for that, but there's no sense doing it unless we have everybody's comments, so.
I mean, we'll
I-
work with you on that. We should get the comments to you later today or
I
first
would
thing
think
tomorrow.
later today we
Oh.
could get them to you.
For everything for today, we'll have, all of today's comments we'll have today or tomorrow, Friday? Mhm.
Yeah. And from planning's perspective, I'll just go ahead and say we're looking for any response to today's comments by next Tuesday to stay on that September 20th Planning and Zoning Board agenda,
I believe that's the 7th, the 6th, 7th,
7th.
7th.
Okay. All right, let's go around. Anthony.
I have nothing at this time.
Thank you.
Public Works has no comment.
I have nothing new to add to my earlier review comments, other than to reiterate the importance of the coordination that's going to be needed for the Forest Main sanitary sewer route as it comes to our treatment plant. The coordination, obviously, with the jurisdiction on US 19 is with DOT. If there's any impact to the Pinellas Trail, that's the county. And anything on Live Oak is the city. So there's going to be some right-of-way utilization permits that will be required when that time comes.
Okay, thanks. Rick?
Yeah, just, mine's also, just a refresher for the previous meeting was for the preliminary that I calculated additional 5 hydrants at this point versus initial 5. Just reminder of the all joints in the fire mains will be restrained, and there will be delineators in the drive lanes of the, next to the fire hydrants. That's all I have at this time.
Thank you.
Anthony, I know you said no comments, but can you at least go through what your written comments were, just for the folks in the audience and the, yeah. that you
For
applied
the
to this?
third submittal?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I could, this is all we have. After review of the requested compactor specifications provided by the applicant, we are satisfied over the concerns we had with size, positioning, and logistics, that they have met with Public Works approval and no further comments or concerns. We were looking at the location and positioning, and it is acceptable for waste pickup with, and does pose no undue transportation issues. So that's concluded. And finally, all stormwater reviews have been submitted to planning and zoning by our consultant.
Thanks, Tony.
Thanks. Utilities.
From utilities, we have no additional comments at this time. We will be working with you guys as this project goes on. There'll be permitting and things like that that are needed. But it's all pretty much outlined in code, and there's no real additional comments at this time. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, Bill.
The only comment I have is just to ensure that at final submittal of the building plans, that all the structures meet the floodplain requirements. per the Florida Building Code and our local ordinance.
Okay, Shannon.
These plans indicate a tree protection fence will be installed around the entire site to include the wetlands and the significant upland habitat. This complies with our current city requirements for preservation outlined in section 133.07, as well as the proposed tree replacement actually will be for inch replacement, and your plan does do that successfully.
All right, and that's,
I'm just going to reiterate what
Okay.
Megan said earlier in regards to the floodplain management regulations. Other than that, no more comments at this time.
Thank you.
okay, great. So that completes the TRC comments on this, unless you all have any questions.
A couple of comments, questions, and then defer to Artie and the group. We do have the revision to the gap study as based on those comments. We'll get that to you today to get that an early start on that. We just talked about the revised traffic study. And also, we would respectfully request that our responses to your comments, to the TRC comments, be included in the board packet so they can see that we did take it seriously, we did respond, we did reply. So it sounds like we're going to have two groups of comments, the ones that responded to the August 5th, and then the comments and response letter from today's meeting. We would just ask that those be included in the board packet. And then my last comment or question, I guess, to you all is are we, with today's comments and resolution of these to the degree that we can, is that the review is complete and we are moving on now towards the September 20th P&Z?
Yes,
And there's no new comments coming out
no,
that anybody's aware of?
no,
Okay.
The only, excuse me, the only thing we will do, because I indicated sometime previously, you know, we're buttoning up that full policy review of the comp plan, and it's an element by element in spreadsheets. So the intent is to get that posted for whoever wants to review it, and we'll make that available. My intent is to get it done tomorrow. So that's,
And will you send that to us as well?
sure, if the spreadsheets aren't too, I don't think they're too big to send to you, so I can just.
Or if it's too
pack
big,
them up,
just send me an email or something,
Yeah.
let me know that it's posted so I can go look
Absolutely,
at it.
will
That'd be
do.
great. Thank you so much.
all right.
Camille?
Morning. Quick question on the floodplain comment. You had stated you were looking to exceed for the entire site or for the buildings?
The buildings.
The building.
The
Just want to
buildings.
clarify that.
Okay, thank you. TRC is adjourned. Thank you.